You've been thinking to start learning to code, but all that latest news make you start thinking that probably it's not such a good idea to invest your time in building career in tech. Massive layoffs by the most successful tech companies. The job market is overcrowded with tech employees. Software development is oversaturated, and new AI tools promise to make it obsolete. The things look even worse if you take into consideration an inflation and an economic recession. Also, some experts says that the crash of Silicon Valley Bank pushed back 10 years the whole industry. Is this the sunset of tech era? Should you learn to code now? Or is it better to think about any other job? I'm Boris. I've been working as a software engineer for enough time to say that media usually make the news look worse than it is. Sometimes I think they just simply hate us. By us, I mean people working in tech. It looks like they want the tech industry to fail so they can write more and more scary articles. The funny thing that even if the situation in the market looks pretty good, you'll still find some news predicting the failures or saying that the industry is in danger. Of course, I don't deny the layoffs or how good AI at doing our job, at least some part of it. I just want to say that the picture shown on the news is not complete. First of all, you need to understand that tech industry is a roller coaster. It has been always like that, and I guess it will remain like that. One day you're getting a ridiculously big paycheck and thinking about the next steps of your career path, and another day you're finding yourself looking for a job. As one of the CEOs I know once said on our meeting, if you want to have a stable job with a stable payment, you shouldn't work in tech. You probably need to work in a bank. That's funny because a couple of weeks after he had said these words, Silicon Valley Bank crashed. What am I trying to say? The tech industry is always moving up and down, but if you look at it big time, you'll see that it's constantly growing. Study says that technology nowadays is growing exponentially, and despite the huge progress of the humans during the last decades, we are just in the beginning of the graph that is only taking up. It's a natural behavior of the whole industry. There could be a couple of years of bad times, but then the market goes up and reaches the new level. That means that even if you decide to start learning to code during some challenging times, it's still worth it, because you'll have enough time to acquire a new skill and be ready for the better days. As I've already said, tech industry is a roller coaster, so it's just a matter of time when the market will become stable again. Also, you need to understand that even now, when everyone says that there are massive layoffs, banks are crashing and the general situation looks not good, there are still new startups that hire software developers. There are still some startups that succeed to get to the new round of funding, and there are still opportunities. Yes, the competition is probably stronger. Yes, the employers are probably more picky, but it doesn't mean that you've got no chance to land your first programming job. People will never stop using all that technology that has already become an integral part of our life. There are more and more mobile devices, computers, robots, electric cars, whatever, and every device needs a software to operate. So there is more and more software that should be developed. Thus, you've already guessed, the world will need more and more software developers in the future. Despite the growing supply of software developers, demand is always bigger. I believe software development will never become oversaturated. Will tech startups stop paying ridiculously big salaries to software developers? Well, it depends on the startup and on how experienced and skillful a software developer is. But I'm pretty sure that software development will remain one of the sexiest industries to work in for many years. Okay, what about AI? We see that nowadays ChatGPT that is available for everyone can generate a pretty decent code, write test cases for testing, and even design a software. GPT-4 can do even more crazy stuff. But you need to understand, despite that the AI in general is an amazing tool, it's just a tool and it won't replace software engineers, at least in the nearest future. For example, ChatGPT is a tool built on a language model trained by humans. The key word is humans. There is no doubt AI is here to stay, and of course you need to adopt these tools if you want to stay on the market. I believe that in the nearest future we'll see even more and even better AI tools, and it means that the world will need even more programmers to create these AI tools, to train AI models, to run AI models, to build a software based on AI. But it's very important to mention that if nowadays coding is seen as one of the biggest parts of software engineers' job, but with time it will become more as a mandatory skill, but not the baseline of the software engineer's job. In my opinion, such tools as ChatGPT, for example, expose even bigger problem, the problem of our education. We used to learn, memorize different stuff, instead of learning how to effectively navigate through the huge knowledge base for problem solving. I mean, nowadays AI tools give us an access to mostly every knowledge that we would like to have, but we need to understand what exactly fits to solve our particular problem. So such skills as problem solving, critical thinking, decision making, communication and collaboration will become even more important. I hope that now, after I've just said, you understand that it's still worth learning to code and looking for a job in tech. Software developer will remain one of the most exciting and interesting jobs for many years, but probably coding is already not enough. But let's talk about it on my next video. See you there.